Speed warning.
Alright guys, it's back. Dirty Fisherman, aka Dirty Truckerman. I am back rolling after a long 48 hours. In this video, basically, I'm going to talk about a few things, man, to deal with trucking, trying to help some of the newer truckers out. Here's the big difference when people talk about company jobs, lease jobs, signing contracts for 6 months, 9 months, a year to get your education on driving a truck. I personally agree with Biden's administration. Yeah, I know, right? That truckers need to go to school, right? Now, back in the day, or still today, not much longer though, people were able to get their license basically through knowing somebody that had a truck. So your granddaddy had a truck, he owned a farm, blah blah blah. You'd study the book, go take the written test, use his tractor and trailer, get your license. Now you're a Class A CDL holder. Doesn't mean you have any real road experience or real world trucking experience, but you now hold the highest category of driver's license in America. I think that is horrible. I do not agree with that. I think if you're going to actually be a trucker of any kind, you need to go get educated and experienced through somebody that has enough skill to educate you and give you the experience that they have. Now here's the bad side of that. Companies all over America, Prime, Stevens, Western Express, all these other companies, man, they're making an absolute killing off of training drivers, multiple different ways. So basically, they get government grants for you to come in. So the government says, okay, we need 10,000 more drivers, and we'll give you training school, 5,000 per person that comes through your school, graduates, gets their license. All right, and then you charge training schools charges another 5,000, or they say, hey, you must work with us for a year, or you owe us $5,000, right? That's basically how it works. So they're not only getting the grant money from the government, or the whatever you call it, the money from the government. They're also getting a driver locked in for a year, no matter how they treat them, or you owe them $5,000. So it's a monopoly, and to me it's crooked, but whatever. There are a lot of good schools out here, and a lot of schools, good trucking companies that want to make you a good driver, right? A lot of good drivers out here that's training people, and they want to make sure that they teach you the best they can. On the other side, you got the exact opposite. You got these places that don't care nothing about you. They'll leave you on the road for forever, etc., etc. All the horror stories, and one day I'll go over my horror stories, because there's some bad ones. So there's my opinion on that. Yes, you need to go to truck driving school to get your experience. If I had to name a few schools that I think, and what I've heard or experienced, I would say Prime is probably the number one training school. It's not the number one trucking company. They can talk about best fleet class and all this bull crap they want to. They are not the best trucking company. They're a good one, but they're not the best trucking company. They are probably one of the best training companies. Stevens Transport, y'all will hear me talk about them a lot on this channel. Stevens Transport is one because Not because how Stevens treats you as an individual, right? But all of the sacrifices Stevens is going to make you go through, all of the testing, and all of that Stevens is going to make you go through, that's what makes you a good trucker. It makes them a good train school. Snyder, I heard, is okay. I personally went to, shout out to him, Carolina Trucking Academy in what used to be Salisbury, North Carolina. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina now. But all they do is they basically come in and teach you how to do 90s, teach you how to do, back up the truck, switch sides, and or offset backing, whatever you want to call it. They put you through classes, and they basically just get you your license. Then they send you to Stevens or Prime or Covenant or wherever they're going to send you to train you. But they treated me good. So yeah, now here's where people get torn. Leasing and company driving. So just about every training school, Prime, etc., has a lease program and they have a company side. A lot of times they'll try to beat in your head from the start. Don't go lease, don't go lease, don't go lease from the start. Well, why did you get into this business? You gotta think about that yourself. Did you get in this business to work for somebody else, or did you get in this business to work for yourself, to make your own decisions, to feel like a boss, whether you are or not, to feel like a boss? Me personally, I got in here to feel like a boss, so I leased my truck from the very beginning at Stevens Transport. The great thing about leasing is you control your own destiny. You also make your own mistakes. And excuse me, been a long morning. You also make your own mistakes. So I made a lot of them. Excuse me, good old joke. And I made a lot of them, but it made me a good driver really quick. It made me knowledgeable about the business very quick. Now the thing with company driving is a lot less stress. Straight up, you don't have to worry about as much. But here's the loss: you don't have the freedom. They tell you where to go, you got to go there. They tell you what time to be there, you got to be there at that time, etc. Normally the home time is not as good with company driving as it is leasing, because most companies only give you maybe a day every week, something like that. By the way, here's a quick plug. Here at FreightWorks, you get a day and a half for every 7 days you're out, or you can get on some of our 1,500 a week guaranteed runs, and you can be off, I think it's 2 days a week, if I'm not mistaken. I know we have runs that's you're guaranteed off 2 to 3 days a week, and still $1,200 to $1,500 a week guaranteed. So anyway, just throwing it out there. With 6 months experience. So I'm currently company driving. I got tired of leasing. I got tired of having the headaches of worried about fuel costs, worried about insurances, worried about was this truck payment going to get met, worried about when I go home for this 10 days, am I going to come back $3,000 in the hole, which does happen all the time. So company driving is good if you're wanting to be home more. I mean, a company driving is good if you don't mind being out more, and you don't mind somebody else telling you or running your schedule. With leasing, I ran my own schedule, man. I never drove at night unless I chose to. The money had to be right. I never went where I didn't want to go, which is, I don't mind going anywhere, man. I'll pull in New York City. It don't bother me. But those are the things that really matter. So anyway, just want to give y'all a little heads up. And again, if you're interested in trucking, if you're interested in coming to work for my company, which is an amazing company, you can watch some of my previous videos. I've actually got one, Steven Transport versus Freightworks, which is who I work for now. And I describe some of the differences in the companies. But again, email me, cfhinshaw, HINSHAW, @gmail.com. And I'll be glad to help you out. Contact me, even if you're not interested in working for my company, or even if you're, if you just got some questions, man. Like, I honestly just want to help people out. I'm getting back into the game myself after a year layoff. So maybe you can help me out. If you see something or if I say something that you don't agree with, leave your comments in the box, or email me. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Be safe out there. Keep them wheels rolling, man.